And how are you? Hope you're all doing fine. I have came to love this family, Jenny and Kyle Appleford and their two littles. And if you've been watching them, you all know kind of what's going on. I have been checking their family Facebook, Jenny's Instagram, Kyle's Instagram, and of course their YouTube ever since the news came in a couple days ago. And now I see that Kyle's here and it says there's an update on Jenny, and I'm afraid to watch it. I'm so afraid. I don't want to be alone watching it. So I'm having problems trying to get my computer to do live. So I'm going to do it this way so that those of you who are friends of mine will watch this with me and will listen to what Kyle has to say. Now, the backstory, a little bit here, is that this is this dynamically beautiful family. Jenny and Kyle are best friends and married and are vegan. I believe that started with Jenny, and then Kyle became vegan to support her because he supports her in everything that she does. Their plan was Kyle is a teacher, and he was going to be a teacher, and she a stay-at-home mom. They had been on a reality show, I believe, that was based on home improvement. I might be able to show it to you in their channel and kind of go back and show that, where this couple chose other couples to go and redo a room in their house or their garage. And so what they did, I think this may have been 4 years ago, is they turned their garage, Jenny and Kyle's garage, into a beautiful teaching space so Jenny could teach the kids, essentially homeschool them, and have a beautiful play and learning center. And it was beautiful. Jenny never smoked. Jenny is a vegan, has none of the risk factors of what you would typically think of somebody with lung cancer, but sadly she was diagnosed with lung cancer. And this woman has fought with everything she has. They live in California, I think in the Temecula region. So a little bit of background about me. Long ago and far away, the only thing I ever wanted to do growing up was to be a nurse. And so I had my first baby in high school, so that delayed my schooling a little bit. Nonetheless, I did start nursing school and was working full-time while having my kiddos, and my husband and I worked opposite shifts so that we didn't ever have to have people we didn't know watch our babies because we didn't have extended family to do so. So we were very much like Jenny and Kyle, so I can very much relate to them in that. And I was going to be a nurse, so I was in my nursing program, and I worked at a hospital for years before that and years during that while I was in nursing school. And I worked in a beautiful hospice unit in the Seattle area. So I have a background in hospice nursing. Now, it turned out that I have an extreme latex allergy, and back 25, 26 years ago, everything was latex. So we didn't know why I kept getting so violently ill every time I went to work. It was affecting my heart and other things. It turned out that I was going into anaphylaxis every time I'd step into that hospital. So I had to quit my nursing career. That led into other things long ago and far away and whatnot, and ended up in law school. And then God had a different plan for me too, and I ended up getting sepsis. And so I have 2 bachelor's degrees. I'm a nursing school dropout and a law school dropout, so I know a little bit about everything, but not enough to know anything about everything. So I have a little bit better understanding than some as I've been watching Jenny fight. I've watched people, if you can believe it, troll this family. Kyle, a couple of weeks ago, couldn't even put up one of the videos because of the ridiculous things that people were saying. There are just trolls everywhere, and I wish that there was just little coins that we could give them and they could go away, but they won't go away. And they will troll me for even bringing up this subject. Just watch. The reason they were trolling them is because there's been an active GoFundMe. Enough that between family help and the GoFundMe, Kyle has not had to work in his job as a teacher. He has been able to be very present with Jenny, to take her to all of her treatments and be there for her 100%. And this man is there for her 100%. He will buckle her shoes. He will tie her gown. He will wipe her nose. He is amazing. He's an amazing daddy too. Takes great care of the kids, and her family is just so supportive, and they take the kids quite a bit. So they have an active GoFundMe for that. They were going to Disneyland quite often, okay? And they would show that, and they would talk about that. They said they took the kids to Disney tonight, and, Winnie liked this or whatever. So the trolls, in their infinite wisdom, started thinking that if you have a GoFundMe, you shouldn't be going to Disney. And then this other troll group wanted to say, if you're sick, you shouldn't be going to Disney. And there it went. And so everybody else was like, yeah, because you know what? Apparently when you're sick and you're a sick person, you have to act like a sick person. You need to be in bed acting like a sick person. But you know what? From where I stand, and apparently where Jenny and Kyle and others stand, is that they're saying, you know what? You don't know how much longer she has. So why not make every memory that she can be beautiful? And I'm going to tell you I lived in Southern California for a while as well, and I can tell you that money is tight. Money does not go far down there. But when we lived down there, my husband's grandfather said, why don't you take the kids to SeaWorld? And so for our Christmas present, he sent us enough money to take the kids to SeaWorld. While we were there, we saw that you can get a year's pass to go to SeaWorld for not very much more. It's not where they make their money, but it's where they can make a little money, because who's going to come back to SeaWorld very often? Well, we did. So although oftentimes we didn't have enough money, I had just enough money to pay for gas, put the kids in the vehicle, and drive them down to SeaWorld. So my kids went to SeaWorld a lot. I'd take them once a week and whatnot, and I was dealing with other health issues that were not as severe at that point, but I still didn't feel great. But if I could let my kids go to SeaWorld, and there's this area where they can dig and go and dig for little fossils and stuff, if I could go there, drive there, park, let the kids go in and dig in this little area and see the things at SeaWorld, and they had the greatest time of their life for 6 hours a day or whatever, instead of watching me be home and sick. That's what we did. It didn't cost us anything extra. That is the same as Disney. Disney has one of those things, and the same thing where you can get an annual pass. So without Kyle explaining, I am going to say from my insight, I can speak to what the trolls were saying and explain to others that may be looking a little side-eyed at that they're not using the GoFundMe money to go to Disney every day. That's paid in an annual pass, and that because they don't live too far from there, they lived in the suburbs. Like I say, I think they lived up in Temecula. I can't remember the name of the city, but it would be just a little hop, skip, and a jump to get on the highway, and they would go down there. Jenny probably has handicap parking, so they may waive the parking fee, and that would make her not have to walk very far. And I believe that they have one of those little transport easy wheelchairs at this point for Jenny to be in. Those people who were very concerned about Jenny catching something from people around, Jenny probably wore a mask And a lot of people were probably confusing what they've seen with other people with cancer, where people have had bone marrow transplants and they have to be very, very careful because they are immunocompromised. Jenny's treatment was not in that line of treatment. So that's where maybe some of the trolling came in. And bottom line, Jenny's dealing with lung cancer and she didn't know how long she had. So what if she wants her last memories with her children to be watching her children jumping around, having a happy time, looking at all of the lights and all of the characters? That's her seeing the world through her children's eyes rather than her seeing her children look at her while she's laying on a couch, not doing well, being sick, being a typical sick person. And that's my point in how can these people dare to troll. Now, the other reason people troll is because Jenny has a lot of problems with self-admitted anxiety. Okay? So she has lung cancer with a very grim prognosis. I believe she's been stage 4 for a while. How are you going to tell that person that they don't have the right to have a panic attack over something like that? How are you going to say that's silly? Okay? So there's people in there fighting back and forth because Jenny would come on and she'd say, people tell me what to do. I don't know how to control these panic attacks. What do you do during your panic attacks? And people would offer advice, and then the trolls would get mad at the advice and say, don't tell her what to do, even though that's what she specifically asked for. Now, Jenny, of course, had the option of medication for her panic attacks and for her pain, but it has been Jenny's wish to be as present as possible, not being affected by anti-anxiety nor pain meds, because she wanted to be present for every moment that she could be. So that's where a lot of people have varying opinions on. And when somebody is given a cancer diagnosis of this magnitude, being young, having a wonderful husband and 2 children, they can't control very much. So it is, from a former hospice nurse perspective, the hospice theory is letting that person have what they want. It is to respect their wishes. Now, she had been a full code where all life-saving measures would be taken until she posted the other day. And she posted, many of you probably saw, where she posted, and she said she is dying. She went, I'll go back into this and show you how this has kind of progressed and why this is rather unexpected, because just 11 days ago, she was approved for another clinical trial. She's been doing clinical trial after clinical trial. Every single thing that is out there available to somebody in her position has been given. She's been at the Cancer Treatment Centers of America. They have done just extensive treatments with her. And so it's surprising to me that they didn't see what just happened here. No judgment. I don't know what happened. Nonetheless, something has changed, because we'll go back to this in the time period where she was, I think 3 months ago is where she posted and said, we told the kids that I'm dying. That she's been open about that, saying she's dying, that they were asking the doctors, how much time does she have? And the doctors were like, well, let's see how this treatment goes. Let's see what we're dealing with here. And they didn't put a firm timeline on her life expectancy until recently. And I think it was at that 3-month mark where they told her that rather than 1 year left, she was down to months. So the the thought process with her was she wanted to continue to try every single possible option out there. There are cancer treatments evolving daily, and she was doing well. She was fighting valiantly, and she fought because she wants to be here to see her kids grow up and to be with her husband. Somehow the other day, something went and she couldn't breathe very well, and they went in and found that most of that affected lung had turned into a tumor. So one whole, we have two lungs, and one whole lung had just, that tumor took it over. Whereas she had an area that was affected where it wasn't getting full oxygen. That is my opinion that that's where the panic attacks come from, because when I had the thing that caused the pandemic, and I had shortness of breath because I have other health issues, when I felt I couldn't get enough air, and I have asthma, lifelong asthma, so when I feel like I can't have enough air, I really panic. And it has been my opinion, looking at her while she's going through this, that she feels she can't breathe, and that is anxiety producing. That is absolutely terrifying, feeling like you can't breathe. So she had always wanted to pass in her home, but when this just changed 2 days ago, they put her on a very high oxygen output, and they don't have the ability to replicate that treatment in the home. So she was told that she would probably not be able to return home, that this would be her last journey. They're in that hospital room, so they were getting the kids, they were getting the family, they were getting everybody up there, and she was saying her goodbyes to everybody. She's wanted to do this live. She's wanted to be very much online because she wants this to be a chronicle for her children to know how hard she fought. 2 days ago when she was doing this, she was feeling like she was on her way out really fast, and she told everybody, be kind to Kyle. He's an amazing husband. And she wants Kyle to fall in love again. He's allowed to fall in love again. He's allowed to marry again. And she said that Kyle's afraid that people online will pick on him and hate him if he does. And so she wanted everybody to know. So please, if if we see this happening in the years to come and Kyle moves on, please remind people that this is Jenny's wishes, that Jenny had a plan. Now, without further ado, let's watch this together so that what has been happening is other channels have been reporting that she's already passed. They did that a couple of days ago, and she was still very much here. I believe it was stated that Celebrity Gossip had posted that she passed earlier today, and that was said not to be true. So let's find out right now what's going on from Kyle. And this is as of 2 hours ago. Poor Kyle, he's probably trying to find the words. What happened? Oh, when you see the chat, everybody's here. They've got 155,000 subscribers, and as of 2 hours ago, they had 113,674 views. People love this family, and for good reason. No, he's looking down. No.
Hi, guys. First, I want to start, if anybody's jumping in, Jenny is still okay.
Okay.
I know a lot of people.
Okay. I can breathe a little better now. Okay. I know that. Oh. Okay. I've been praying nonstop for this family. I just want her to have as many hours as she can have. Okay, so all of the reports were wrong. As you can see in the chat, look at people are, oh, somebody else says I haven't been able to stop thinking about her and praying hard. Me too. I just love this little family.
People have been asking how she's doing. She is still okay.
Okay.
I wanted to just pop on. Jenny told me she wanted me to just update everybody. We were talking, you know, we've had a lot of family time in the last, days don't make sense.
Let them get some ad revenue here. I'll just turn that volume down and I'll let the ads go so that they can get a little bit more money. If you don't know, we creators do get our money from ads running. So although they suck, please let them run and, you know, run and grab something or whatever. I believe that that's how we should get our money. It shouldn't be about these tragedy pimps begging all the time. This is how YouTube should be, is to let the ads go. Okay, so she's alive. She was saying that she was going to transition to comfort. They were going to she had the option if she stayed full code of going on a ventilator, and she did not want that. She said that she had a, let's go back.
I don't know how long it's been since she wanted to go live. Was that 2 days ago? Man, it has been up and down. And too much to where I can't even make a video. So Jenny always taught me that if you can't make a video, do whatever's easiest, just to let as many people know that I'm okay. And she's okay. As okay as we can be. So I wanted to pop on and give everybody at least that we are apart for the first time since I brought her into the hospital, which was 4 days ago now. And that is only because her sister's there. And I had to finally take the kids home because they're no longer allowed to visit. Long story short, we got an exception. The kids can visit anytime. It's no problem because they know our situation. But we had to kind of make this adjustment so that the kids are kind of, I don't know. They were going a little stir crazy in the room, and all Jenny wants is for them to be next to her. So we're making arrangements to where they sleep there every night with her, and so far it's been amazing. She cuddles them every night. It's so dang cute. We've had a lot of family around Jenny, and you know, I can't wrap my head about everything to share in this short amount of time, but what I can say is for the first time since she was diagnosed, before she was diagnosed, when she started feeling her pain, and I was telling her family this, if you ask her right now, today, I just asked her before I left, are you in pain? For the first time in a really long time, she says no. And it feels so good to hear her say that, because it's been so long since she's been able to say that. So she was she was officially switched over to hospice care.
Okay, good.
This morning.
Okay, this is a huge shift. Okay, so what happened the other day when things went from bad to worse? She said that she did not want to be put on a ventilator. That was the next thing. So as she was still 100% full code and she was there in the hospital, breathing continued the way that it was legally, they would have had to have intubated her, put her on a ventilator. She did, so that's a machine that would do the breathing for her. She said that she had a friend do that, and her friend said that it was so painful and she regretted doing it. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that because obviously, if the friend did that, there was not another choice. Now, what she said then, that the doctor said, if if she does not want to be intubated, then that is when she does switch, and that is when she is on hospice comfort care only. So they will do what they need to do to make her comfortable. And this is where a lot of us, probably a lot of us who are former healthcare workers, have been very, very concerned and confused because Jenny has been in so much pain anytime she lays down, anytime she has to be, for an MRI. She cries and has panic attacks before because she's going to be in pain. And we have said, advocate for yourself. Tell them that you are in pain. Get medication for your pain. If anybody deserves it, it is you. And she has not wanted to, again, because she wants to be very present. And she has suffered because of it. And it's hard to watch a human suffer. I am so happy to hear. And I believe that Kyle, based on the way he just said it too, where he said, "Are you in pain?" And she said, "No." This is a huge, huge relief. The hospice modality really believes in keeping people comfortable. Now, that is saying that she is under the effects of pain medication. Pain medication, by its nature, reduces respirations. That's why people do pass, because they don't realize how much they're taking and their body doesn't want to breathe. I don't know if you've ever came out of anesthesia and you have that feeling where you're still under a lot of medication and you just kind of, your body just kind of says, I'm kind of too tired to breathe right now. How about if I just not breathe? And then you'll have the nurse tap you or shake you and be like, come on, you got to breathe. And you're like, let's just not. Your body just doesn't feel the need to breathe. And that's probably what's going on with Jenny right now, is that it's a very fine balance, most likely, between how much they have her medicated. You don't want to give more medication than necessary, because then that becomes, well, let's see here. How can I say this without getting in a lot of trouble? Do you guys remember Dr. Kevorkian and how he did assisted end of life? That's where we're at here, because one more dosage of pain medication than what she's on right now, that is, yes, helping her to not need as much oxygen, but any more could be seen as physician assisted end of life, and that is not something that we are comfortable with as a society. We allow hospice, in which that allows people in their end of life where there is nothing more that can be done, to be comfortable. Now, it is my understanding that her other organs were not shutting down. It's her mainly her breathing. We know that months ago they identified that she had Mets, so her lung cancer had spread to both her spine and her brain. So she went through full brain radiation and full spine and brain radiation. She went through hell. This woman has been through hell. About a year ago, when she went on a experimental drug, it went through and it caused these horrible, like, chemical burns all through in the inside of her mouth, all down the inside of her esophagus. it made her nearly scream to try to take a sip of water. And she persevered because she wants to fight to stay here. She wants to be here for her children. Her hair still stayed in until very recently, and then when it fell out, she let the kids, help her cut it off, and she, was a good sport about it and did the little grandpa look for a minute and everything to let them get a laugh, and has worn her bald beautifully. Chat, I see people asking, is she still in the hospital? And yes, that will be, as they said the other day, because of her need for the high flow oxygen, she will not be able to go home. That's what the way they stated it the other day. Now, I see somebody in that chat said, can we call for last rites? Of course, they've done those types of things. The hospitals always have a chaplain on call. And if you're sick, if you come in, for stitches, if you go into a hospital for anything, give birth, whatever, you are always able to ask for the chaplain to come and talk to you. Well, I've been in for long periods with my Crohn's and sepsis and whatnot. I used to have daily talks with the chaplain. You can do that, and of course they're going to be there for anything that she needs to address any religion concerns that she has. So that's of course that's a given. I'm very glad that she's not in pain.
And some amazing news is that if all things go as planned, Jenny will be able to come home and live out the rest of whatever beautiful time that she has left at home with her family, with us, with the kids, with her sister, and her closest friends and family. We just...
Okay, so that's different than what they said 2 days ago, where she was not going to be able to. I don't know then if it's when she transitioned to the hospice. I don't know, because they said that was not a possibility. I'm very glad that she can do that. That's awesome. I'm so happy.
I just feel like that's a stinking miracle that could only happen with so many prayers and God.
Yes.
Because, sorry, Flowers having an asthma attack. When we were originally told that her days were numbered, the doctors weren't sure if we were going to be able to get her home safely, and she might have to do hospice and finish her days out in the hospital, which is okay because we felt safe there. But it's also not what Jenny wanted, and so we as a family fought really hard. And I gotta say that the hospital that she's at has been absolutely amazing. They called tons of hospice companies and found a really big one that has the certain machines that Jenny needs to be home and in peace and avoid some of the things that Jenny did not want for her end of life.
That is incredible. And that's a huge testament to where he said, that they called around to see, because let's say that, they're in arguably the best area. They're in the LA area where they've got the Cancer Treatment Centers of America. They've got more options than most. This is great news. That's what she wanted. And as the chat says, hospice can make so much happen. Awesome. That is awesome. I'm so happy.
So she's not going to be hooked up to a bunch of tubing and all this kind of stuff that she did not want. She's going to be at home.
Good.
And comfortable.
Good.
And safe.
Yes.
And we've already talked to her hospice.
Do you live in Minnesota? How about you own your own home, but still rent your electricity? If you pay more than $70 a month in electricity, then you might...
We're going to stop that again and keep giving them that revenue. I am so happy because she wanted to be in her home. She wants the kids to be with her, and as kids do, her kids are very full of energy. And like the other day when they put the camera on, the kids were climbing the windows and they've got the curtains all over them and everything, and they turn around and they're like, whoa, kids, you got to be careful, because the focus was on Jenny the other day and how fast things went from where she, thought that she definitely had a couple of hopefully months left. I mean, there was arguments going back and forth whether or not she'd be able to be through the holiday season. But to just go like that, it wasn't, so it was, the family was kind of scrambling. So as you can understand, on a cancer floor, a hospital, because I think they're still at Cancer Treatment Center of America. I think that's where they are. There's people who are very sick, and that's why they don't want children to be running around, because like where I worked, we had our lights very dim. Our call light system was very a much more of a muted tone, and other interruptions that come over the intercom were not necessarily always going to go there. We kept everything as calm and subdued as we could in that unit. So that's where this is a little bit different, with the kids visiting and whatnot. As you can see, the chat, people love this family. As you can see, the chat is just so in love with them, and happy that she gets to go home too. I'm watching this little bean on here of St. Jude. Cute kid. So yeah, I mean, when they have 155,000 subscribers, and like I say, we're at 136,564 views in 3 hours. There are so many people watching, and we need to thank Jenny for letting us have this insight into what truly goes on. I believe that because people have to do the traditional roles and be sick like you're supposed to in bed, people don't know what truly happens with cancer, and that it isn't just that, you live your life and then, in your old age, you get cancer. No, it is oftentimes, and too often, people who are very young. I believe that if people knew that and saw the whole process as Jenny has allowed us to do, then there would be more monies given for cancer research. We should be further along in cancer treatment and research than we are. When somebody says that they've survived cancer, hold on.
From above, takes a certain kind of person to work in that field, from what I'm gathering. They seem really, really kind. We've talked to 2 people from the company today, just absolutely kind. From going from the news that Jenny's time with us is numbered, short, to we're going to have to finish out in the hospital, we all accepted it. We decorated our whole room with Christmas, because that's her favorite. Christmas tree, we did presents, we did the whole thing. And now getting told that she gets to come home, and because of the medication she's on right now, she's having moments of heavy, heavy sleep, and it's so nice to see her sleep. But then all I can think is, please wake up so I can talk to you again and see you. And right now she keeps waking up, and in a good way. She has a nice long sleep, and then she wakes up, and I get to see her again, and it's nice to see her. It's nice to see her. she's so beautiful. And like I said, pain is very much under control. She's officially been switched over to comfort care. And, nothing's ever set in stone, we've learned. So I hesitate to give every single detail, but just know that Jenny is okay. The plan is for Jenny to go home. And she's had some big smiles the last couple days. She's also had some confusion because of the meds that she's on, and that's okay. It seems to come and go. And she has an absolutely amazing support system around her. Flower, come here. With her family, with her friends. I can't tell you enough on how amazing her family has been, and the staff has been. They've been a true blessing. We feel like a lot of answered prayers when they came in and fought to have her go home in a good way, safe way. And then, like I said, we haven't talked a lot with Hospice yet. We're still setting everything up, but we've already talked to her nurse and the manager, and gosh, they just seem so kind. And all they want to do is make sure that Jenny is safe and happy. The hospital we were at even arranged to have Flower come visit for just a short time, because that's all they're allowed. But when you're on comfort care, end of life care, they let you. They have certain things that they let you do that some of the average families, aren't fortunate enough to do yet, because of everybody's situation is different. But Flower got to come. Jenny got to have a lot of family visitors. So we feel like a lot of prayers are being answered. And like I said, she is very, very peaceful right now. She is on a lot of medication, so I don't know how much filming we're going to do of her in this aspect, but I am taking a lot of videos of her for us, some private videos for just us, for the kids to watch later on in life, and to see how even in these really hard days, all she wants to do is cuddle her babies in bed and be close to them. It's pretty amazing. The doctor shared some stuff with us that Jenny is, as you guys know, based on what he told us, and multiple doctors told us, she is a fighter. Things could have gone.
This $36 gadget cleans any bathroom.
She is a valiant warrior. I have never seen anybody just continue to fight and fight and fight. And, and she goes through one, they're like, okay, well, we can do 28 more series of radiation. She was like, all right, well, let's go and count down. And she's just there, and she goes, and I've just not seen it. I mean, like I say, it's been 25 years since I've been in the field. And so we certainly didn't have this many options at all. So for me to see the way that she just continues to go and look at it as, okay, well, if this is what we have to do, this is what we have to do. Her only wish is to be able to be with her children and her little dog Flower and her husband. And that's it. That's all she's ever asked for. Now, hospice is an amazing concept in that when somebody wants something, you bring it to them, you let it happen. And, there's a couple of times, where somebody was just in, what we thought was the last, and then they wanted a hamburger from somewhere, and we're like, well, so oftentimes one of us who was off or whatever, soon we would go and grab one, and do that. And I remember one night, it was like 2 a.m, and this patient, he was not expected to make it through the night, woke up and wanted a hot fudge sundae and wanted the Hershey syrup and everything just there. And I'm like, oh, well, none of us can leave, and Hershey syrup. And I'm like, oh, the espresso cart has Hershey syrup. Oh, so I was like, okay, I'll get some of those little ice creams, that we have in the hospital, and I'm gonna get that Hershey syrup from that freaking coffee cart downstairs. So I go in and I find my way into the cafeteria. Well, then the freaking espresso cart had like this like little cage thing around it. I wasn't as fat as I am now, so crawled under it. I crawled underneath, broke into the espresso thing, and made this sundae with the Hershey syrup to the best of my ability. Found some little marshmallows there for the hot chocolate, and I made this. And I get back up to my floor, and there is security sitting there, looking amused, frustrated, angry, baffled, with my charge nurse. They're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, hey." And they're like, "Why? Why wouldn't you have just called one of us?" I'm like, "Why? I didn't." They're like, "Don't you realize we have cameras there?" I'm like, "Well, oh, do you?" I was like, "Oh." And they're like, "And we have a key to the cage on the espresso cart, so you could have just simply called and we would have helped you in this." I'm like, "Oh, all right. Well," I felt like an idiot, but you know what? I got my patient his hot fudge sundae, and that's what freaking mattered. Even though I look like an idiot, it is what it is. So once again, we're just letting this these ads go. I know that these ads suck. When I'm watching my favorite creators, they have these too. I'm like, "Oh, not another ad." But I'll have something to the side where I'm working on something else or whatever, or I'll do if it's one I'm watching, if it's one that I'm listening to, I'll go and change out a load of laundry or whatever else. The letting the ads run really helps. So if we can do that right now for them, that's what we're doing. I'm so happy she gets to come home.
This past week before she was admitted into the hospital. So you guys know she had multiple pulmonary embolisms. The cancer in her chest was pretty prominent. She also had pneumonia. Her lungs and her breathing were real labored and tough, and that's why we went in, and they've done nothing but take care of her, and she's no longer doing any cancer treatment. She no longer has to take any of that medication. She no longer has to talk to an oncologist. Her team did reach out and say that they truly love Jenny. More than a patient, more than a patient.
She's incredible.
Her clinical trial nurse called and was crying on the phone and saying she loved her. All the nurses in the hospital right now that she's with absolutely fall in love with her. And all they keep saying is that she's so kind through all of this. No matter what she's told, she's always worried about the nurses. She's worried about her kids. She's worried about her family. She is always putting others first, which is how she has always been. So I'm not going to take too much time. I just wanted to pop on and give you guys a quick update because a lot of people are asking. She is okay. She is comfortable. She is resting. Her sister is with her now. Her best friend Melanie was down here taking care of her as well. And like I said, tons of family has been with her. And today's kind of a quieter day because we originally thought today was going to be the day to go home. We're not quite sure if it's today or tomorrow, but I had to come home, get the kids out of the hospital, and then I'm going to go back to be with her. So I can't think of anything else. But what I can tell you guys is that everything that you guys have fallen in love with Jenny is just coming so much to light now, even more so. I always knew that because I spent every single day with her and fell in love with her when I met her. But now all these people who, obviously you guys have grown to love her, and the hospital staff is growing to love her, and everybody's seeing why she is the most perfect thing I could ever imagine. So it's heartbreaking. We've done a lot of crying in the last 4 days, more than I've ever done in my life, and Jenny's cried, Jenny's laughed, Jenny's joked, Jenny's been like a little spicy at times, like just like saying things that, I don't know if it's the medication talking, or she was telling me last night, I've got no guilt. What do I have any guilt for? I'm going to say everything I want to say. So it's pretty cute to see. All she wants is to be close to her babies, myself, her family, her closest family and friends. And that's hopefully what we are going to continue to keep giving her. And then I can't wait till she's home. We've cleared out the house to make room for all the equipment that's going to be coming. And we're really, really excited and hopeful that she gets to be where she wanted. Her original wishes when we got diagnosed originally was, if it gets to this point, I would love to be at home if it's possible. So I feel like she's getting all that she wanted at this point. And like I said, pain right now, I don't ever want to speak for her. The only thing that's been kind of going on is headaches because of the current medication she's on. And the nurses come in and give her something for it, and it takes care of it usually pretty quickly. Breathing has been okay. She doesn't have that gasping for air she was having. They took care of all that.
That's awesome.
So I'm so thankful. Somebody was mentioning, I see in the comments, like playlist. Yesterday when her breathing wasn't looking the best, the people who were around her, there was probably 7 or 8 of us. We played some, hey bud. Okay, I'll get you a snack. Give me 1 second. We played some of, do you guys want to sit with me? I'm just updating people on mommy. Or do you guys want to go inside and I'll come feed you? Yeah, get her a snack. Thanks, my dude. I love you. What was I saying? Oh, we all got to play a song that makes us think of Jenny. And she was in a deep sleep. Her breathing was a little labored. We were a little worried. So everybody played a song. Everyone's crying. And then I played one of our songs that anytime our rule was when we played this song, we would stop whatever we're doing. If we were upset, if we were scared, if we were sad, if we were happy, if it was a busy day, whatever it was, if we played this song, one of us, we would have to stop what we're doing, exit the room, find each other, and kiss each other. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to play that even though she's fast asleep. And she woke up from the sleep when I played that song and made this gesture. And it was like one of the best moments of my life. And she gave me a kiss. It was so sweet. And then when she was feeling saucy and spicy, I told her that story because she was a little out of it. And then when she was with it, I told her the story and she said, dang, you should be proud of yourself. That's like some true love story stuff. It was pretty cute. Yeah, come here, my sweet. What is it? Hold on 1 second, okay?
Yeah, and you can see he's just,
What's the best way to invest $1,000 right now?
he's so present with his kids, as you can see. He's just, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, he's a good man. He's a good teacher. He's a good husband. He's a good dad. A lot of people, so like in here, I see somebody say that they saw they got a recording of her heartbeat. That's really a cool thing to do. There was another young mom who passed not too long ago, Haley, and they did that for their little one. And they did the recording of the mom's heartbeat in a teddy bear. And they taught him that, whenever he misses his mom, to listen for her heartbeat, and she's in his heart. And that was really great. I see people also suggesting to do with that plaster of Paris stuff, the handprints with the handprints and her handprints. That's a good thing too. I see somebody asking where they can donate. They have their, GoFundMe link. So this right here that we're looking at is on Jenny's page. So it's Jenny Apple. Kyle also has his Facebook, and on Instagram, I think under just Jenny Apple. And then on Facebook, they have the My Brave Jenny, I think is how, or Our Brave Jenny, something like that. And the GoFundMe is in a link in there, I know. So if you're in a position to donate, they will sure still need it for his continued time to be with the children and for funeral expenses. I think that would be an amazing thing if somebody could, if they're in a position to donate, they still are a very worthy family to donate to. For Father's Day, she gave Kyle one of those bikes. It's an electric bike. I think it's called a hay bike, I think. Like HEY bike. And so she did a little promo for it. I think they gifted it to her. And people were really trolling her saying, well, we've never seen this channel be about products. We don't want it now. And it's like, you know what? Give them a break. If somebody reaches out and gives them a product in return for a little shout out, let them do it. Honestly, like I say, if I could just buy troll coins and know where to throw them, I'd give the little trolls their coins so that they'd leave this family alone. I can't believe what people complain about now, about everything. I don't even think the trolls watch the entire video. They don't watch enough because they generally like watch for a couple minutes or just say what they want to say, and then they go. But they've said what they've said, and it's just usually just so ridiculous. It's a very long commercial break. I am so glad that she gets to go home, though. That's her wish. And she wants to be cuddling her kids and her little dog, Flower. Flower's hilarious. Her little dog. And Kyle will do these videos and she won't let them go up. She wants to still edit them and everything. So this might be one of the only videos we've seen that isn't edited. She likes everything to be just perfect. She's a really good mom. And yeah, even the other day when she's like, you know, literally you can go and see in her video is titled, I'm Dying. And she's on there. And this is where they're talking about when she's saying that she was saying she's Mario because she's got the little oxygen thing in. And it looks like a little mustache. It's like, I'm a Mario. And she's still just joking right there, you know, for the kids. She's got her best friend. Her sister's a nurse. So her sister's been able to help with a lot of things too. Okay. We can let this commercial break go. It's a very long commercial break. I do apologize. We'll listen just a little bit more. I guess they really think we should have this adventure hoodie, huh? Sorry, I'm eating a piece of Halloween candy. I couldn't resist. A little mini Kit Kat. What was I supposed to do? Okay, let me see him. Let's zip this up a little faster. Okay, what do we need these pockets in the back for? Oh. Oh. Well. Yeah, good luck remembering everything when you go to wash that. And then if you put something in all of those pockets, it's going to be all heavy. You look like a weirdo. Okay, this is seriously the longest commercial. We are helping them by giving them revenue, and that's the way we've got to look at it. But I guess that I would take this time to ask for everybody to continue to send prayers to this family, that they may be able to be present and that Jenny is comfortable in her transition. As she was saying the other day, she's going to go and she's going to be a big shiny angel. So when you see a little flicker of light, that's her. And remember her like that. There are people who have said that in her honor, they're going to put an apple tree in their yard. And those are Jenny Apple Tree. Their last name is Apple Ford. They've said that, so I'm not doxing. And that may be able to help you find the GoFundMe as well. But they go by Jenny and Kyle Apple. So yes, definitely an apple tree would be a great tribute. And to watch their other videos and let the ads run. That actually helps. So if you are not in a position to give money, watch their videos and let these ads run just as we are, as I'm modeling for you. Let's see here now. And I hope that I brought you all to this little family. Sorry. Why is this not working? Got my volume on. There you are.
Winnie's requesting Halloween chips, but it's November 1st. We are on to Christmas. So our plan is to bring Jenny home, decorate for Christmas, and put up the Christmas tree, put up her favorite Christmas lights, which I have to order, and just make this place just a winter wonderland. We love Christmas anyway, so I think she'll love that. And our goal is to get her home tomorrow. And one thing that the nurses made sure is that they don't want to have her suffer at all, be in any pain at all. And right now they are managing it so well. And it's so nice to see her pretty peaceful as you can get at this time. But like I said, everyone's in love with her at the hospital. Just like you and I have grown to love her. So I'll cut it there because I want to start getting back to her. But I know that she did want me to keep you guys updated, just with little short updates. And a lot of people have been texting her phone. I wanted you guys to know that she is with us. She is okay. And she's pretty peaceful right now. And a lot of smiles, a lot of tears. But she's okay right now. And our goal is to get her home. And if you guys could hear the way that this hospice nurse talked to us on the phone today, there's no doubt in my mind that she is going to be well taken care of. Like, she was like an angel on earth. I'm telling you, she was so kind. So we're going to hopefully get her taken care of. My phone rings. It's not Jenny, it's spam. I will update you guys soon, but I just wanted to let you know that she's okay. She's with us. She's safe in the hospital with her sister, and I'm gonna go back there. I love her. Thank you guys. Thanks for asking. I am a wreck, but I'm okay. I have a lot of support, and I couldn't do this without her family and you guys and everybody. She's a gem, and she's an angel, and she deserves the world. So, yeah, love you guys. We will be sure to keep you updated if anything happens. But it'll probably be, for the next however long, depending on how Jenny does, it'll probably be me. I know you guys want to see her and see her face, and but we are getting to a point now where I'd like to keep her protected as much as possible. And, you know, she's a strong, powerful woman. She may override me at any point, and I, you know, whatever, you know, I want to protect her, but I also want to respect her, and yeah. But it may be me popping on just to give you guys updates, but love you guys. Thank you for all the prayers. Thank you for all the support. And kids are hanging in. I have the kids now. They've been going back and forth, but they've been really hanging in there. And we have a village, and I'm thankful for that village. So thank you all. Talk to you soon. Keep praying for my beautiful wife, that she is just peaceful and calm and protected and safe. And I'll be back with her soon. And yeah, just pray that she is comfortable, and, you know, whatever God's will is, God's will be. And love you guys. Thank you. And talk to you soon. Bye, guys.
Oh, that's so awesome. And there has been conjecture because, as everybody, you know, wants to, you know, have their opinions override what others do, this has been an issue because Jenny herself says she wants to be online. She wants to show the process. She wants her children to be able to look back on this. And others have told Kyle that, you know, he needs to override that and say that, no, you know, enough is enough. And it's like, no, he loves her and wants to honor her wishes. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of Bentleyville. Bentleyville started almost on the same concept. It's here in Minnesota. I believe that you know, it's famous because you can see it from the NASA space station. So what had happened here was years ago, a man in the same position as Kyle, his wife was dying of cancer and loved the Christmas season and the Christmas lights. And so he went outside and he made a huge display of lights for her. And people came from all over to see because he made this incredible light show. And so as she passed each year, he went more and more. And now it is fabulous. I've spoken about it before on my channel, as I do like to go and see it. I think it runs from the night after Thanksgiving to the night before New Year's. Bundle up, have earmuffs and everything because the wind comes off Lake Superior really cold. But they have marshmallows and hot chocolate and chocolate chips and a really cute little gift shop and everything, and you can just walk through. Just has the most incredible lights. It's really a fun thing to do, and in the way that this man honored his wife is very similar to the way that Kyle continues to honor his wife. And so this is where Jenny's page is. Okay, so here is the gun. It says here is the GoFundMe link. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so right here, so if you go to Jenny Apple's page where we just were and we saw Kyle live, it says, if anyone's interested in donating, here's our GoFundMe link. Now, when I push that, it goes down into this description, and then for some reason, it's not hyperlinking. So I don't know where that is. And as we can see, she started this page in 2015. She says that, you know, she doesn't expect anything, but people have been asking. It says, thank you for all of the support during my stage 4 battle with non-smoking lung cancer. So let's see if we see anything in her community that gives that. Okay. So 2 months ago is when she posted about Kyle going on. Okay. So there wasn't anything, but this is Jenny here, you know, when she still had all of her hair. Go over here, go to these shorts. She's just so beautiful. And as the cancer took its various forms, she looked different, as you can see in so many things. But one thing that I noticed is that in each phase of the ways that she looked different, she was beautiful in every size. She when she was on extreme amounts of prednisone, she got much larger than she'd ever been. She was absolutely just as beautiful as ever. I'm just really always just noticing that. Okay, so yeah, here's the hay bike, and they had the discount code for that. This is when she so her hair was still here.
Hello, everyone. Do you notice anything different? I got a haircut. My friend Bia came over, cut my hair shorter, and added a couple of hair extensions, the clip-in kind, to a couple of areas that needed help from cancer treatment. And this is my hair now. I didn't think there would be anything she could do with it, and she proved me wrong. I think it's super cute. I love it, and I appreciate you, Bia. Thank you. Hello, everyone.
She cute.
Do you notice anything different?
And that was 3 months ago.
I got a haircut. My friend Bia came over, cut my hair shorter, and added a couple.
So that was 3 months ago. Go over here to live. You go back through some of the lives. So 3 days ago was when she came on here and said that she's dying. And then where we had the second live where this is Jenny Apple is live. She wanted to be on longer, but they came in and needed to do a med change. So if we look back 2 months ago, we were not in this position. And like I said, there was 11 days ago where they were just going on another trial. So we'll go over here to...
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are now available on StreamYard.
But let's look and see if we can see a little bit of the ways in which she just came on and kind of unexpectedly had this news, whereas she just started that other treatment and then went this way. This is certainly a scary title, but she is very straightforward, and because of her, other people are able to have the open dialogue of what really happens. Her effect on so many people will and is so positive. I think that she's talked to so many people that have helped her, and then in turn she helps others with her knowledge, and that's how I think that we are supposed to be. That's how before computers and phones and whatnot, we were a society that we talked to people, and people who knew more were those with wisdom, and we talked to them often, our elders. And we've gotten away from talking to each other and talking about difficult subjects. And Jenny went here and went to all these topics, and here we are.
Okay, so you're live. So give people a minute. You can start saying hi as people start logging in.
I don't see any.
So here's the number of people that are here. It says 2. Hold on.
Whoa. Excuse me.
I got it.
Oh,
Want me to hold it? And then you don't have to use your energy?
yeah.
Look, there's people jumping on to see you. See all those people?
Hello. I would say your names, but it takes longer to say your names with the highs. I have bad news, guys. I'm dying. Like I'm actually dying right now. I'm scared. I'm so scared.
It's okay.
I don't know what to do.
We got the news that it's not looking good.
It looks like I'm dying.
Yeah.
Dying.
The doctor came in and told us that if the breathing continues, which he thinks it will, that you'd have to be put on a ventilator and just be sedated, which is not what Jenny wants.
I had a friend do that, and she was in misery. She was posting that it was absolutely terrible, and she hated it. And so I told him I didn't want that.
No.
It's where she was just tubed to a machine and had like this big thing on her head,
That's what she was.
and she couldn't breathe.
I know it's a lot of energy to talk. Do you want me to give a summary, or do you want to just talk to you?
Yeah, you could give a summary.
Okay. They probably want to see you though, so keep it pointed at your
Okay.
pretty face.
My pretty face.
Yeah, so...
If they come in, will you try to remember to ask your shoes?
Of course. Do you want me to get them now and you just talk?
No, you talk.
Okay.
Because I can't really, I don't even know what's
I know.
going on. I woke up to Kyle crying, saying it's time. Or something like that.
Yeah, so doctor came in. Obviously, it's a weekend, so there's not a lot going on here, but we went in originally because Jenny's breathing has been so labored. So they have her on a high flow machine, really high flowing oxygen, and that's not something that can be replicated at home. So she's here and she can't go home. And we wanted to be at home if we ever got this news, but we unfortunately can't. They think if we tried to transfer her home, she might not make it. So we're gonna be here. The doctor said that we haven't had a chest scan since she started that trial. We were due for one in about a week. Looks like the left lung is mainly tumor now. So that's why
Okay, so that's where we were the other day, and that's where they said that she would not be able to go home. And, you know, just even the transport from the ride to get home, because they could go by ambulance, but they don't have that high flow capability that she would need. And I'm just looking over in the chat, and you know, there's people that they said surely there's something they can do. Well, the reality is that this is cancer, and this is aggressive lung cancer. And then over here where she says, can they give her morphine to relax? She has always had that option. She has always not wanted that. She has been on certain amounts of pain medication, especially in the last couple of months. At first, she really refused anything, but then in the last couple of months, just as there was a pocket of fluid that she was having to have drained quite often, and that was causing a lot of pain to her. So she was on that lower dose of pain meds. But of course, that's always been her option, but she wanted to be able to be awake enough and present enough with her children to not just be basically a drugged out sick person on the couch. She did not want that. So that's where, you know, some of these comments where the confusion comes in. But now that she has switched over to that full hospice, then that's where they're really going to be focusing on talking to her about maintaining her comfort so that she is not suffering, and they'll really be keeping her comfort as their priority and helping her to let go of the feelings of guilt for taking pain medication. And again, that will help her not be as panicked about the breathing.
the breathing has been so hard, and he said that it looks like if we continue going this way, we might have days with Jenny. So everybody's gonna come down and see you, family. Just we couldn't think of anything to do. She wanted to reach out to you guys, and
Any ideas what I need to do
yeah.
before I go?
Do you like having a P.O. box but are tired of wasting time and money driving to the post office?
So over here in the chat, you see people, this one person keeps posting about taking 3 grams of bee pollen a day. That's, okay, so this person says, please consume 3 grams of bee propolis every day. That's maybe something that could have been helpful a while ago to support her immune system, but certainly that's not going to do much right now. And there was something else I wanted to say here. As you can tell, Kyle doesn't do mods either. I don't have mods. So sometimes, like I say, sometimes the trolling is just too much and he'll quit. And that's so sad. Yeah, this guy just keeps just putting this in here every other, probably as fast as he can post. He's putting that about the bee propolis. And then where this person's saying, you know, can you do hospice at home? That's where they were saying is that they weren't going to be able to do that because of so they would do hospice in the hospital because of the need for that type of oxygen machine that she needed. But because they called around and they found one hospice company that can accommodate that with that kind of machinery, yes, she is going to be able to go home, which is great. And she will go home on that hospice. Let's see if there's anything else I can answer while we're letting some revenue go there. Oh no, I just thought about it because when mine runs, it'll be with ads and this. I'm sorry, because it'll be ads. I'm really sorry. I was just thinking that I could answer some of the questions that people have here, but that's probably just too many interruptions for everybody. I do apologize. I just want to do my part to explain why people should not be trolling this family at all, and explain kind of from what I know with my insight and my life experience that of what's going on here. I hope that it is my hope that she passes in her sleep, cuddling her babies, her husband, and a little flower. That would be.
Any ideas what I should do, you guys? I look like Mario. Badori. Don't I?
You look so cute.
It's me. I make a pizza. Put the cheese. Who was your pizza guy waking up, growing up? Mine was, what's his name? Did you guys have one that you watched on TV?
Pizza guy?
Mario Batoli.
Oh, you mean cooking guy? Cooking chef?
Yeah. Mine was the guy with the O. What was his name? I can't remember his name. And he would say, "Bam! Kick it up a notch."
Oh, Emerald Lagasse.
Yeah, that's not a no.
So prayers would be appreciated.
Yeah, we'll read the comments after this if I'm still alive.
Yeah, you're okay. You're gonna be here. The main thing they're concerned with is just the breathing is so labored. We can't come down on the high flow. And she doesn't want to be on a ventilator. She's made that clear. So we're on the border of switching to comfort. When we switch to full comfort, then they're going to give her a bunch of stuff to make her breathing easier, switch to a different form of oxygen, and then everyone, all the kids can be in here as long as they want, your family, friends, just to come be with you.
You guys take care of my Kyle and my Ellison Winnie and my Melanie and my Ashley and my family. They all need you so badly. He woke me up crying. He never cries because he tries to be the tough one. But please take care of them. He's allowed to remarry. He's allowed to fall in love. Don't hold it against him if he falls in love and gets married. He's so afraid. He says he's not going to fall in love, but he's afraid people are going to be mean to him if he did. But he's allowed to fall in love and be married. I want him to be happy. So let him be happy. I hope I'm happy. I think I'll be happy. I'll be an angel sparkling in the sky.
You already are.
And I'll be sparkling over you guys. When you get a glimmer of light in your eyes, it's me saying hi. If you should write a book. I wanted to write a book so bad, and I missed my window.
I'll write one for you.
Don't tell any embarrassing secrets.
No. These are for us.
Write,
Are you holding it up to you, please?
write my kids, my story to my kids.
Of course.
From your perspective. Write it from Ashley's perspective. Write it from Mel's perspective. And give them each a copy. What do you want?
Can they see you? They pointed at you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know how to lie. I've done this before.
Sure.
See, so there you have it. She's just so amazing, and she is always concerned about the other person. And even right now, she's saying Kyle has the right to be happy. She wants him to be happy. He has the right to remarry, fall in love, be happy. And that's bigger than I am. I've made it very clear to my husband that he better not. That I would haunt him. That no, he cannot. I'm not as nice, but she's young. They've got the 2 young kids. I can see her point. We're older. Our kids are grown, and I said no. So Jenny, it's a personal talk that you have, with your spouse, and of course you all know I'm joking because I would have no power over that. But it's just so sad that she has to think of these things right now. And so when there's all of these petty arguments going on, especially on YouTube, and people just sitting there being so miserable about everything else, and I'm not kidding in that people say that they are going to take their own lives over the trolling and whatnot. Look at people like this. Look at Jenny Apple. Look at her family, and look at how hard she is fighting just to stay alive. Those are the things that matter. This petty arguing between YouTubers and people, just anywhere, everywhere, in workplaces, in schools, just stop. The bigger picture is here. These are things that matter in finding cancer research so that there aren't children and young people in the prime of their life dying of cancer. These things matter. Please start to keep priorities correct and think of Jenny Apple. Think of her and think of her children. And if you're in a position to donate to their GoFundMe, please do. And if you can just look back at some of their videos and, watch some ads to give them a little bit of money, that's doing something too. But please pray for Jenny in her transition, and that it is peaceful, that she is not uncomfortable, and that she goes in her sleep cuddling with her babies, her husband, and little Flower, her dog, as she wants to. Please send love, light, flowers, love, light, prayers. I was thinking of her little puppy. Please send love, light, prayers, virtual hugs to Jenny, Kyle, their children, her family, and Flower as she goes through these next few days. And again, I'm so happy that she is going to be comfortable. That's was my biggest concern in watching all of this, is that she was not comfortable. So thank you for letting me introduce you to Jenny Apple and her family. Thank you. And Jenny, thank you so much for all that you have taught me to remember to put things in perspective and not take things for granted, and for all that you are teaching so many others about being present and the importance of being present and aware and honest. And I thank you so much for the gifts that you've given to this world, and we will watch out for your Kyle and your kiddos always. Thank you, Jenny Apple, for being you. You're a valiant warrior. Thank you.